Hi, my name is Khiry, and this is another Ask the inFlow expert. I'm part of our success team here at inFlow, and today I wanted to go over the quantity breakdown. So before we get started, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. Please like and share with your friends, any other business owners that might find inFlow really helpful, and also any comments of any videos that you guys would like to see. It's really helpful when we hear from you guys because then it makes a lot of these videos a lot more easy to make, and we come up with interesting topics. So today I wanted to go over something that you may be a little familiar with but has had some changes, which is our quantity breakdown tile in our products. And what I mean is when I go into a products page now, you may see this a little bit different. If you've been using inFlow before, you can probably tell that this is very different. If you're new, don't even worry about it. You might just be here coming to seeing something amazing for the first time. So I have this stuffy here, and if I hit this view breakdown button, I can now see a breakdown of where all my products are. I'm also going to link a article that we have here that goes over what our breakdowns actually mean in more details, but I'll touch on them very lightly. So available is what everyone I think always is caring about. How much of something can I sell without it affecting another order? That's kind of what available is focusing on. And as you move things around, that available number is obviously going to decrease or increase based off of what you're doing effectively. Reserve now is another very common one. So this is when an item is sitting on an open sales order or an open manufacturing order, and it hasn't been completely committed to that as yet. You know, it might just be you're quoting somebody or you need to set a sales order up, but there's the potential that something could actually come off, right? So we kind of want to tell you that status. Picked now is a little bit more concrete. This is when you're on a sales order, you're picking it, or you're in a manufacturing order, it's made it onto your pick list that you've actually taken that item. But also keep in mind with sales orders, you do have to have shipping turned on when that pick status is coming on, or else it might not work in the same exact way. It still might stay in reserve. So it's kind of saying I'm getting this ready to ship out. So it's been picked, it's kind of stored somewhere. So we kind of give you that insight and that detail. And on order is kind of like the opposite of all of these. And this is when, you know, an item might not be in your inventory yet, but has been, you know, made a requirement from a vendor that you will be purchasing this from them. And that's likely because it's sitting on a purchase order. This could also be coming from a stock transfer if it's moving from one location and you're looking at the breakdown within that other location, that it could be telling you, hey, this is on a stock transfer and it's soon to be coming in. It might be in transit and those details. So again, we kind of give you a lot of these ways that you can see where all those products are and where they're moving. And it's all in this beautiful tile right here. You can actually switch in the quantity tab here if you want to see your available or on hand. And on hand is the other, which is like your global breakdown in terms of quantities. So this is where you will be able to see, you know, where everything is. So that might always be different from what your available is, because on hand is just factoring where everything is rather than what's only available to be sold, you know, or used in an order at that time. This is also where you'll be able to enable reordering now. So this is where you can set up where purchase orders are going to get reordered, or if you're doing it through a stock transfer or manufacturing order. And your reorder points can be set up here, and reorder quantities. I think we've done videos on reordering before, so maybe we'll link that as well. If you do want to go back and look at what reordering is, that also might be handy. I know it's a very common question that we get, like, does inFlow have reordering? And we definitely do, and it does a really good job. So let me just quickly touch on and show you kind of like how that breakdown will affect when you start moving things around. So for example, let me create a sales order here. I'm actually going to duplicate my page here, just so we can pop back into our product when we need to. And I'll start a sales order, and I'm going to sell this to a friend of mine named Punch. You know, I'm here. He's a fan of this particular stuffy. And let's add that on here. I have my shipping turned on as well, just to let you know. And let's say we're selling 3 right now to Punch. But I am currently in the process of this, so I'm only going to pick 2 of them at this moment. And I'll save that. Let's go back to our product now. I'm just going to refresh so that it updates that. And now we can see that there is a breakdown of that available and on hand, right? So you can see that 2 of them have already been picked. So it takes it out of my on hand, right? Because it's pretty much committed. It's picked, it's out of my inventory, it's sitting probably somewhere to be shipped out. So that's why it's letting me know, that 1 of them here is reserved. 8 are on hand. 7 are actually available because I took 3, right? 1 of them is still technically reserved. And now if I go into my breakdown, I can see those 2 are actually picked, which leaves my on hand at 8. And because I have 2 picked, 1 reserved, 1 sitting on that sales order, which is also a beautiful way of being able to show you like where something is actually reserved, it leaves me with available of 7 because 3 of them are being taken out and 8 are. And you also will get this little kind of highlighted area to also give you in mind like where something actually is, letting you know like what's on reserved as well. So this is super handy because you can see really quickly where everything is. Let's do the opposite of that. So let's go and like make a purchase order now. And we'll say we'll buy this from the zoo. And say, because I'm getting ready, because I know a lot of people want these stuffies right now, I'm going to bring in another 10. And I'm just going to leave this open. Maybe I sent this off to my vendor. So that way he knows that I am about to buy some of these. And let's go back to my product here. And we can see again, there's like a new highlighted area that's telling me that there's 10 on order. It still doesn't affect anything with my available or my on hand because technically I don't physically have these items in my inventory, but now I do have an indicator that telling me that there are 10 on order. And I can see this here in my view breakdown. So I have 10 on order. I have 10 by purchase order. So I get that really handy way of seeing that. The same way would be done if I did a stock transfer. I would be able to see like, hey, there's X amount, coming in from a stock transfer as well. That would be in that on order section. But as you move things around, this will get really easy to see where everything is when you're highlighting it. And, even if I have different locations, I can see that breakdown for all those different locations as well if I needed to, which is also going to be super handy. Gets it a little bit more colorful too. So it's a lot more eye capturing as well. It's really captivating on the eyes. So I think it just adds a little bit more of a great design feature as well. But we can see a lot of this, in terms of how our breakdowns are, where our stock actually is, where we can enable that reordering. So you can do a lot more in this tile that you likely could have done before. Would love to get your feedback on it. We keep changing things in terms of, the feedback we get from everyone. This was one of those where people did want to see a little bit more detail in that breakdown. So love to hear what you're saying. But until the next one, thanks for joining me today. And hopefully we can help you figure out where everything is a little bit more simply. Take care. Until the next one.